Me encuentro en Universal Studios, en el Amphitheater, con nada menos acá que Geoff Downes, uno de los músicos más prolíferos de la historia de la música. Bueno, él está en Asia y en Yes, ahora está tocando con las dos bandas y nos va a contar un poquito qué está pasando. Bueno, básicamente vamos a preguntarle de nuevo disco. Geoff.
Hello there, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm happy to be here with you.
Yes.
I've been following you for at least 20 years, from all the Asia years, because I was too young when you came up, you know.
Okay.
So tell me about the new album XXX. How was the production of the album?
Yeah, I think it was something that we talked about doing. We wanted to do something a bit special for our 30th anniversary, so we got in the studio at the beginning of this year, and that was the result of it. I'd written some stuff with John towards the end of last year, so we had a good sort of good basis of material to go on. But we did the album pretty quickly, to be honest. It was quite painless.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get how was the process of compose the songs? Do you get a story from yourself?
Yeah, we start with a very, very basic ideas, and I think that John usually has a handful of ideas, and Steve has some ideas, and I've got some stuff, and we just kind of throw it all together and then see what comes up. So there's no John does a lot of the lyrics, probably most of the lyrics, I would say. So, but we get the musical frames together first, and then juggle it around on a computer and see what's going to work, and then you get basically like doing a demo, and then we take that in the studio and then we start to build it up from there.
Do you record it here or in UK?
No, recorded in the UK. We our management has a studio there, which is about equal from where the four of us live. So we recorded it there, and we had a producer who called Mike Paxman, who was the same producer we had on the previous album.
Yeah, Omega.
And I think that it was very good. It's very good for us to have a producer. I think when we started out, we had the late great Mike Stone, and he was great to work with as well. So I think it really has helped on this album, particularly having having another mind in there, if you like, a producer.
How can you compare the new album from the old ones? There's any difference, anything new, or what is the difference of the sound?
Yeah, I think that the process has changed quite a lot. The old days we all used to be in the same room together recording, because that was the way you did it. You had like the backing tracks were taken live, and you didn't really have the facility to do what we do now, which is a lot of editing between takes and that kind of thing. It wasn't so easy then, so that side of it has changed a bit. So you don't really need to have all four members in the room at the same time. But
so you didn't record it all together?
Yeah, I mean we discuss things, and we are in the studio control room together largely, and one person's working, but we don't have that thing where everyone was like full tilt at the same time.
And how was the reception of the album so far?
It's been amazing. I mean, I think that we're very pleasantly surprised with how it's been received. I think that we didn't expect a great deal. I mean, you never know. The band's been going 30 years. It's not sort of in the front line of what necessarily record buyers are buying today, but it's certainly, as I say, has exceeded our expectations. And the record company, I think they're very well satisfied with the way it's sold and the way it's been received. We've had fantastic reviews.
Yeah, well, mine is good too. Okay,
oh,
it's not online yet. So I saw the first time that I saw XXX, I said, well, I'm gonna see some chicks naked here, but I didn't see any. Some girls, some pictures.
Yeah,
because XXX is how to use for adult movies.
You want a few racy pics? No, you don't get that in there. Yeah, you've got to go to different websites for that kind of stuff. So, or the top shelf in a magazine store.
You think about when you put XXX, okay, with the 30 in Roman numbers, right? Have you thought that probably somebody will be confused about this?
Yeah, maybe. I think that. It is obviously, it is all about the Roman numerals, but yeah, I mean, it's something that we find sort of slightly amusing, I suppose. You know, that there is that Asia XXX. You know, if you type that in on a Google search, you know, you're going to get something pretty. You're not going to get that for a start.
How the market hit in the band? I mean, you know, the market is going down and everybody's complaining, but probably people think that the big bands like Asia or ES, they are okay, they are doing great. There's any have you noticed any difference?
Well, I think that bands like us, you know, have always had the facility to be able to play live, and I think that's a very important part of it. So, you know, we've got a reasonable amount of dedicated fans who follow us, whatever, and you know, I think it's nice for them to have new material to have, rather than just going out and playing the old hits. You know, we try and incorporate some of the newer material in there, which not only keeps them interested, but it keeps us fresh as well, that we're not just playing the same old set year in, year out, you know. So that's why I think there's still a marketplace for bands like Asia, bands like Yes. You know, a lot of those bands from the 70s and 80s, as was the case with Asia, have still got a very good following live.
Good. What about the project with Icon? There's something coming up? Or other project besides Icon?
Well, I think that was something that John and myself were doing before we really got Asia going again, and I think that in many ways it paved the way. I'm not saying it was very enjoyable stuff to do, and I think that it shows another twist to mine and John's songwriting. So I think when we're writing specifically for Asia, we do really wear that cap and we try and make the songs appropriate for Asia. But I think the Icon stuff allowed us to be a little bit more wide-ranging. We could use female vocals and things like that we, you know, wouldn't be really appropriate with Asia. So it's not something that we've given up on. You know, I think that, you know, if there's a bit of time in the future, we'll certainly maybe do another album.
What about solo? Anything doing solo?
Yeah, I mean, I do, you know, bits and pieces solo. I did an album with a prog rock vocalist a couple of years ago, called Symphonica, Electronica rather, it was called. But yeah, I mean, I just keep working on music all the time. You know, it's a sort of, it's a hobby as much as it's a profession.
Have you ever thought to, since you made the song, you know, Video Killed Radio Star, since internet came up, have you thought to do something with Internet Killed Video Star?
Yeah, I mean, so someone's already done that. You know, I think that you know, it often gets used as a kind of a buzzword of something replacing something else, some new kind of technology taken over. So, you know, in many ways, I think the title itself is very almost, you know, predicted what was going to happen. Certainly, not necessarily with radio, but just how technology changes people's perception of things. And, you know, you can look at, the internet has really changed people's perception of things. Well, you know, the way that, you know, you don't go into a record store now to buy a record, you know, you download it, you know, or, you know, if you want a copy of it, you order it from Amazon. You know, you don't go into a record shop and wait for the guy to come out with a big piece of vinyl, you know. So all those kind of things of, you know, that's what more Video Killed the Radio Star, the sentiment of the song was about how technology changes people's perception.
There is anything you will do with the new technology?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fascinated by technology, particularly being a keyboard player, you know, because that's one area of music that's been constantly developing. You know, if you look at guitars, for instance, you know, the sort of the main guitarists from 1970 or 60s are probably still playing the same instrument they were playing then, you know, whereas I think that, you know, you look at the way that keyboards have developed and the things you can do with keyboards, and you know, they're almost sort of orchestras within themselves. So it's a fascinating thing for me, and I'm constantly looking into that and trying to make, you know, interesting sounds and that kind of thing. Okay,
you are the one that carried Asia all these years. How is the relationship between the four original members and with the old members?
Well, I think the original members, when we got back together again in 2006, I think that we all felt we hadn't really done enough back in those days, back in the first 2 years of the band. And yeah, I mean, I carried the band through various changes. Obviously, John Payne was a vocalist throughout that period. But I think, at the end of the day, a lot of people came back to the point that, the reason they got into Asia was because of the 4 members that were there at the time. And so, when we did come back into it, I think that it felt very natural for us, we really did, we clicked again, it was almost like it was back to 1982.
Nice. Anyway, anything else you wanna? Yeah, because people is watching right now. Well, not right now.
Watching? Okay.
He's gonna watch this. There's anything else you wanna say to other keyboardists or fans?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I think that music will always be something that should be in the hands of musicians, and I think that, when people ask me what, should I carry on doing this, I always say, yeah, stick to your beliefs, because that's what music's about, and that's what ultimately that's where the success will be if it's that good. So I think that people should really stick at it.
Any plans to go to South America or Spain, because this is for the whole, Latin America?
Well, yeah, I mean, we played there with both both Yes and Asia have played there in recent years. I think we're talking about going to South America next year with Yes at some point. And probably with Asia too. So it's an area that we have a lot of fun there. I know we've got a lot of fans there, very enthusiastic fans. So we're looking forward to going out there again.
And it's a great show. I saw you guys last year in the Grove.
Oh right, okay.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that was quite something. Yeah.
I should bring some diapers because it was awesome.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You mind the seats. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks.